ashy, hairy legs. Oh, yours smooth.
Are they?
Yeah, they're not bad. Mine just popped out hairy.
Yours are all tan and look like you're a cyclist.
A cyclist?
I'm hitting this.
You look like you're...
No.
Test. I can't really hear anything in my...
Thank you. I've been working out. I've always had good calves.
All those years as a tennis player.
I don't know. Do you think that might be it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Got to be light on your feet. You're moving a lot.
Yeah, bouncy.
Mm-hmm. Doing our best.
I'm doing my best.
Oh, I kept saying doing. We'll change it every time. There's a new intro. We don't have one.
Yeah. That didn't work. That wasn't a good. Gosh, we are back again. We just had an event at the most darling church event. We went to their retreat.
Mm-hmm.
It was we had so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
We love going to small churches. I do secular talks where I just do readings, tell stories, tell a fart story. It's almost like, kind of comedy or whatever. But then I have my church talks that are more like like a night of laughter and encouragement that a lot of women's churches have invited us to. And those have been turning out to be our favorite.
They're my favorite. The big ones I like because they're fun, and then of course I get to introduce you and end it, and I feel like
star.
I was made for the stage.
Yeah,
but I really do like the smaller ones better because I love being in community, and so you get to meet people and actually have like a good talk with them, where you don't get to do that as much when we're
right. And in the small groups, like women interact. So we were talking, every time I brought up a subject, and they were interacting,
very intimate, so
and
it
it's
feels like
intimate. They can add to it,
and they were funny,
and they were very funny. And they invited us to brunch. I never like to eat before I speak, and so we get invited to like either before or after meals quite a bit. And I said, I don't like to eat beforehand, but thank you so much for inviting us. And then we always show up, and it's like the best meal we've ever seen cinnamon rolls the size of our heads.
Anna's not going to eat, but what's up with these brownies? Because and they were good.
They were good. It was almost like dense cake, but anyway. So we just got back from that, and I'm over at Amber's house. I'm basically in my pajamas. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm doing my laundry here because Rob watched the kids while we were at this event, and he kept texting us because they were hungry. Can you believe that? Every event we're at, Amber, whether we are out of town in Alabama, in Dyersville, while I'm speaking, my husband will blow up my phone, and then he'll blow up your phone. Mm-hmm. And it is never an emergency, and he always has a little bit of attitude that we're not answering.
Yeah, and then he told me yesterday, he was like, well, what are you even doing? Well, sir, I'm a professional. And I silenced my phone, and
I go, Rob, I am literally on a stage speaking.
Yeah.
Amber is checking out books, working, what is wrong? His excuse is he always kind of feels bad, and he's like, I didn't think you were on stage at that time. I thought you guys were just chilling at the hotel.
Just assume whenever we leave, we're busy unless we call you.
If we don't answer, we can't answer.
It's funny. Rob does that when you're on stage. My husband goes to the grocery store alone and blows me up.
Guys, first of all, I love Scott. I've told him many times that if anything happens to Rob, I'll be his sister wife in a hot second, okay? I will take care of his food needs, his comforts. You can take care of the physical part, okay?
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
He's just a sweet, generous man. But he calls you Like, that is the part of the sister wife part I also will not participate in. Like, you're going to have to call her, not me. Okay.
It's non.
He goes to the store for Amber, which I love. So he always he'll run errands for you. Now, he works on the railroad. He's gone all the time. And when he gets his time off, he's really
It started during
careful
COVID
to help you.
when they were like only one person from your family can go out.
Yeah.
And so he was already out working. I stay at home with the kids. And so he just did that. And he's just kind of continued to do it. And I'm happy about it. But he calls me. When I say 8 times in a row in a matter of 5 minutes, I'm not making that up. I'll be sitting here and my phone will ring and I'm like, I answer it and I'm like, I trust you. If you want to get it, if you don't want to get it, I trust you.
Sometimes it's every 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Did you get that text I sent you?
Oh, yeah. And it's like,
I think he thinks that I'm just, and he's so sweet. He never makes me feel bad about anything, but I think he just thinks that as a stay-at-home, I'm just sitting around waiting for my phone to ring.
I'm actually almost triggered by your ringtone because of it.
I need to change
You change it because it's like, it reminds me of when I used to work at the university and we'd be on duty, and whenever the phone would ring in the middle of the night, it was always usually something quite serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be, it could be an overdose, or someone was sometimes it was like an alcohol bust, but usually kids were in crisis. And it would happen all the time because I was at a huge party school. And that ringtone we all had a visceral reaction to it. So one time we were in a meeting and the guy who was on it went off and we're all like, because it was just so, we connected with such, stress to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to get that from when Scott calls you at Costco. Like the way it goes off every 30 seconds. And it's like, hey, I can hear him on the other side.
Yeah.
Hey, there's like actually like chocolate and vanilla. I don't know if you want me to get the chocolate and the vanilla or just chocolate or vanilla. I trust you. And you're so sweet. Maybe it's because I'm there.
No, I think I'm sweet, but he also knows that I'm like,
I love you.
I trust you.
I love you and I trust you. I trust you with my life.
Just get the thing.
Just get it. And then he comes home and you're like, you picked vanilla?
I know. The poor guy can never win.
They never can.
They never can. Do. It's like to our poor husbands, but
yeah. So, anyway, so I am here this weekend because we needed to pop out a couple of podcasts because I'm super busy. I'm going out with book 3 here pretty soon. And so this week I can't come down. So I'm doing laundry. I actually washed all of my clothes. And so I had nothing to wear today. I was like, wait, you told me last night, you're like, you better move it over to the dryer. I was like, maybe not. I just didn't feel like it. I just did not want to.
We were already sitting down comfortable.
I had a blanket on me. I was like, you know what? I don't think I am going to do that. I think I'm going to just suffer tomorrow with no clothes.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how I'm dressed today. If anybody's wondering why Amber's cute and I'm not. But we did ask some friends. You did. I never ask people for feedback. I don't want their raggedy ass feedback. Okay.
Listen, we're going to skip over that.
I got it. I have to deal with book reviews and people's opinions all day long. I don't need to be asking people's opinions, but I am going to, we're bringing this up because Amber asked her trusted friends, what did you guys think about the podcast? I want you to tell me the good, the bad, the ugly. And we got some feedback in the last episode that we talked about Kim too much.
It was boring.
It was boring.
My friend had even told me,
she was sweet about
who
it.
even told you that? Me. I told you that. That doesn't mean everybody thinks that.
No, but then 2 people said it.
But then Andy said it, and I haven't even told her that yet. And so
no, that confirms it.
But then when I re-listened to the beginning, I was like, yeah. So we're going to try to not be boring. Because we're not, we just got to move on. We can't be just
talking about someone, friends all day like that. Like they know who we're talking about.
So that's enough of that. We're going to move on to the next thing.
I still think it's pretty funny though that we talked about Kim. It was probably 30 minutes.
It was. I don't know who even was hanging in there. They're like, it's got to get better. It's got to get better. It's got to get better.
If you continue to listen to the podcast past that section, God bless you for hanging in there. So we're going to try to go real fast. Me and you will just lock eyes like, wow, Amber, you're talking way too much about something that you need to, we need to move on. We're here to entertain the people. We're not here to bore the people.
Right.
Okay. So one of the things at the talks that we just had, was based off of my book. And honestly, I feel like we should pull my book out. Do you know where my books are at your house? Probably. They're probably
in my nightstand.
Footstool. Okay. The way you disrespect. Where are your books? Do I even own your books?
Oh, I've got the inner engineering. That's not Anna's book.
I've got the New York Times bestseller, Inner Engineering. Well, this is a New York Times bestseller. That's why I have this out. Maybe if you were a New York Times bestseller, I'd put it out on my stand, but you're not. So, because I might want to read Vaginal Dryness, that portion. But we talked about aging, and I was talking to these ladies about not being ready. That's my second book, right? And writing it because I'm never ready for anything. And, I'm never ready for, and this is real, and I don't know if it's because I'm immature or what, but I've never been ready for my period, ever. And I've had it for so long, and I never have tampons. Okay, remember when I got started my period the last time we traveled? I didn't have any tampons. I started my period.
Yeah.
Where were we? That was when we were going to Alabama.
Oh, and the people were in the grocery store barefoot. And that's not a lie.
That was a weird part of Missouri.
That is not a lie.
That was the kind of place that you want to conceal and carry is what I felt like. It felt like everybody had bare feet. Everybody had a gun tucked away somewhere. Mm-hmm. Not that it was dangerous, but it was the kind of place where you fend for yourself.
It was uncomfortable.
It was the kind of place where you fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Had to get some tampons there. I always get so surprised. I'm never ready for my period. Even Rob is like, Anna, you have had it every month since you were 12 years old. How is this not something that is properly stocked and ready for you?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you have no idea what it's like to be a woman. Okay? So here's the deal. I want Super Plus. I want some Ben & Jerry's. I'll see you later. Okay? Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Advil. Do we have enough Advil? Good. Okay? Coming out here. Because I always have to send him. I'm going to go out there into the wilderness on my period going to Target.
I remember the first time Scott went and got supplies for me, and I think I just felt just head over heels in love all over again, thinking like I couldn't even imagine. And now he just does it. He'll do it. And I don't even think about it. He doesn't think about it.
What, he just picks it up for you once a month or refreshes?
Well,
Do you have
no.
to tell him?
No, well, we have a grocery list that we keep on the fridge, and I'll write things down, and then it's like groceries and then like toiletries.
Yeah.
And since he does a lot of the grocery, but he knows what I use, and he's not even embarrassed. I don't know if you were embarrassed at that
I'm not
age.
embarrassed. He calls you. He's like, you want me to get the Super
So-
Plus or
he's
the
like-
Plus, the combo box with the Super Plus and the
they've
regular?
got these new ones. They look like they might be nice.
Yeah, they say Easy Glide and they're hot pink and shimmery. Is that what you want?
Unscented.
Yeah, what do you think? Don't give me scented. I don't want something scented in that private place.
I always thought I needed the scented when I was younger because I was like, oh, does the blood, Anyway.
That's stinky. People just need to take a shower.
I don't know. I didn't know. I never talked, like I learned all about those things when I was in school.
Yeah.
Like I don't ever remember having a conversation with my mom about it. I remember when I got my period for the first time, I was on like an octopus ride at like the York County Carnival.
Yeah.
And I remember going home and like kind of hiding in my closet because I was just mortified. And my friends had to tell my mom.
Really?
And then there were like, she just used tampons. And I was like, I ain't sticking nothing up anywhere. You better get me some pads. And then like I wore pads for so long because I was just too scared to put anything up inside me. And then all of a sudden, you wear them. They're better now. Because I'll have to double up sometimes. Because since I had winning, my periods have gotten really bad. But
you mean a pad tampon combo?
Yeah, tampon combo. And
you got 2 Super Pluses up there.
I know, I was like, could you imagine? I don't know. But I remember like wearing them at school. And I was like, I might as well have a sign, like the Beetlejuice. Like,
yeah.
I'm wearing a pad, and it was terrible.
In my first book, my period, Merle and Me, I started my period on vacation with my friend and her dad.
This
for the
you
very
should share that
first
story
time.
Because as I don't read your books, I did actually read that chapter. It made me laugh the most.
Yeah. Well, so I started my period with my dad worked with this man named Merle. My dad built homes. He was the contractor, and he would hire Merle as the framer. And so they had a close relationship. And he had Lacey, who was my age. And Lacey and I were very close. And so my dad had a job out in, I don't know, Memphis, Tennessee. And so I think even my dad wasn't out there. I don't remember, but Merle had to go out there. And he said, I'm taking Lacey. Do you want, why don't I just take Anna?
Yeah.
And we can go see the sights or whatever.
It'd be fun.
So I went out there. I always say that too, because sometimes the people are like, you went on vacation with a girl with your friend and her dad. It sounds weird, but when
I don't really think it
You
does.
don't
I mean,
think so?
if anybody has like close family
friends, where
I
it's
don't think
like-
that's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah. And so we were at this, Holiday Inn Express. And I, by the grace of God, my mom had bought me a new 8-pack of undies, okay? And I packed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to be gone for 8 days, but I just threw the whole bag in there. And sometimes I'm like, was those little angels on my shoulder like, sweetheart, you're going to need all those. Just put the whole thing in, all right? And so I go to the bathroom, and what I see is not blood in the conventional sense, right? What I see is poop, death, carnage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What is this? Okay. What do I do? Who do I speak to? What do I say? Right.
Yeah.
Come out to Merle and be like, hey, Merle, look at my undies. What's this?
No, thank you. I mean, it's one thing to go on family with close friends, but like,
Right. I packed it up. I rolled it up, and I rolled it up into a ball, and I stuffed it into my suitcase. Okay. Like a weird child that one of the weird kids in the neighborhood who's got a weird stash, I was just tucking it in. Okay, hid it like a dead baby squirrel in there or something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then I'd go to the bathroom again, and there it was. And I was like, I'm pooping my pants. I cannot believe. I think I was 11 or 12. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm pooping my pants. Buried it into the suitcase like a little dead little squirrel. Is in there, real creepy, secretive,
mm-hmm.
looking eye to eye, side to side. Go to the bathroom again, and I'm like, wow, I'm pooping my pants, and I don't even feel it, and it doesn't even look like poop. I think I'm dying. And I went through all of my underwear. There's a picture of me and Lacey outside of Elvis's home, Graceland or whatever it's called. And I look at this child, and I'm like, she's dying inside. She thinks that she's dying. I thought, this is the end. I'm dying. I have no one to share this with because it's happening in my undies. I ain't going to tell Meryl.
Had you talked about periods beforehand?
My sister's 10 years older. I knew all about periods, but it didn't occur to me. It didn't look like blood. I think if it looked like blood, I would have known.
Sure.
It just, the first time doesn't look like that, And so, I just thought I was dying the whole time. And I remember I came home, and my mom, she was reading a Victoria magazine in her room, classic merino. And so she was sitting in her room by the lamp, and I come back in, and I'm like, Mom, I don't know how to tell you this, but I keep pooping my pants. And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, the whole time that I was in Memphis, I pooped my pants multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. I it's all in my underwear. And I don't know how to tell you this, but I think I'm dying.
Yeah.
I think I'm dying. And I love you. And she goes, bring me your underwear. Okay.
It's like
Only a mother would say that, right?
Right.
Bring me your underwear. I'm like, okay, I guess. So I go in and I collect my
You just picked them up in a
yeah,
ball,
they were all
wadded
stuck.
up.
It was all stuck like a statue.
Yeah, you're like, here it is.
Yeah. So I pick it up, and all those undies come up in one piece, and I pull it out, and I just drop it onto her bed, and I'm like, look, I'm dying. And she takes one look at it, and she goes, my darling, you started your period. And I went instantly from this is the end to hell yeah. because
That I did not have that. I did not have that.
I had a beautiful older sister. Okay, a beautiful older sister who I looked up to so much, and I wanted to be like her. And so to me, my sister took her period really badly because she was the oldest. This just meant I was old. I was like, hey, looks like we're gonna have to share some tampons. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You're excited.
Because I'm gonna need to get myself some Super Plus.
Yeah.
Is there enough in here for both of us? Or because we shared a bathroom.
Yeah.
And so, I then I was jazzed. I was like, wow, finally a woman. Took long enough. And then actual period stuff happened. And I was a mess. I couldn't manage that at all. I don't know how any 12-year-old child can even, if a 12-year-old has any kind of heavy flow, just
Hannah.
wish them well, because you're just out there, you're still on swing sets.
At 11 and 12 years old, you are now starting your period and you're still losing teeth. Okay? You're still losing teeth.
That is too much to manage.
How can you handle friendships and activities? Your teeth are falling out everywhere, and now you've got a period.
Yeah. So, I'm never, since that precious time, every time my period happens to me, number one, I feel I'm angry. Okay. I feel victimized. How could this be happening to me again? Like, I literally just experienced this. Okay. I have a watch now that says, you're going to start your period today. I just boop that thing right off, swipe it away. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
No.
You know what's really funny too is one thing that happens is that Rob can predict my period within an hour. Okay. He can look at me and he's like, you're going to start your period in 2 days.
Well,
At around 10 o'clock.
Our moods change.
Based off of the way I talk to him.
Yeah.
I have a tone, and I'm light and funny. Like I'm joking,
Yeah.
but I'm joking in a way where I could also kill him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I hate you. Just kidding. Love you.
Yeah.
Get out of my house. I don't want to see your stupid face in my stupid house. Get out of my stupid kitchen with your stupid big feet. He's got size 15 feet. Okay, when I'm about to start my period, I cannot stand him in the kitchen when I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, I gotta go get a fork. There he is, right in front of that drawer. Gotta go into the fridge. There he is in front of the fridge. I'm just like, so I don't have any. He knows, and he can predict it by the minute. I can't, and then I'm just like, what is this? How did this happen to me? So anyway, I'm never ready for anything. And one of the things that we talked about is not being ready to get older. And I feel like a puppy. And we're 40 years old, and we're getting close. You're getting close.
I mean, this year.
Yeah, you get the big 40. I'm 41. And someone who's 80 would be like, my gosh, my best years were their 40s. Stop complaining, right? Like 40s really is a beautiful decade. We're still young, of course, but it is when things start to take a turn.
They start to go bad.
The milk's about to go sour.
It's going to go sour.
The milk's sour, son. It's like the milk. I think that was a Dave Chappelle. The milk's gone bad. Okay. And you start to see the first thing that happened to me is, and this is my chapter. It's called Catherine O'Hara in book 2. I'm not ready for this. And I call it Catherine O'Hara because this was the first moment where I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not a baby. And when I tell other people this, I knew that I was onto something because they acted equally shocked, equally horrified, right? I was watching, I think I was with Brady at the time too. I was watching Home Alone. It was around Christmas time. Catherine O'Hara is a genius. As someone who's a humorist, I love everything she's in. I love her in all the Christopher Guest movies. She does improv. The fact that she can make up things on a whim like that, like at Schitt's Creek is like tons of riffing. Like it's not she's not following the script. She's doing whatever is funny for Moira at the time. And I just love her. So I was watching the movie and I was looking at her and I go, I wonder how old she was when she filmed this. Because I was anticipating, I was 37 at the time, and I was anticipating that she was in her early 40s, right? She's got an older kid named Buzz. There's some older girl there. I don't know. I don't really remember who's actually Kevin's siblings. I think he has a sister in that movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, they live in this mansion. They're going to France for Christmas. Like, that's just something that happens in your 40s, right? At the very least, usually your 50s, okay? And so I'm just, and we grew up with Home Alone. So I see her as this older, stately woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the math of how old she is when the movie came out. Okay. She's 36 years old in that movie. 36. 36. Okay. And at the time I was 37. And I thought, oh my God, I am older than Kevin McAllister's mom.
Yeah.
That, I couldn't even wrap my head around it, even though I had a small child of my own.
Small, but not a teenager named Buzz.
I was like, I'm old enough to have a nasty little bully son named Buzz.
No,
because Lucy was like an infant. I was like, there's no way I'm old enough.
Yeah.
This madness. And that was the first time I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby. And a part of it is I'm the baby of my family. I don't know if you feel any different because you were the oldest, right?
I was the oldest.
As the baby of the family, I even get treated like the baby still. You know, I still have to fight for respect.
I don't feel like
At least from my siblings.
a baby, but I still feel, I mean, it's that misplaced, like it must have been maybe 10 years ago or something. And I remember maybe 5. And I remember I went downtown here in Lincoln where we live, and it's a college town. And so a whole street, long street, it's just bars. And I remember going downtown with some friends and I was like, how are they letting these 12-year-olds in here?
Yeah.
And they weren't 12.
I know.
I was just old.
I know.
And also it's kind of annoying because they look all, I remember one of my friends posted a picture.
Teenagers are way hotter now than
Way
when we were
hotter.
teenagers.
Not even teenagers, middle schoolers. When you're supposed to be awkward and ugly for like a good couple years.
They could all be in Gap ads.
They're all in Gap ads. They're gorgeous. I was like, this is, first of all.
What is that? How did that happen?
I have no idea.
Because when I was that age.
I get angry about it.
I had like a greasy headband that I never washed. Okay. I would like negotiate showers with my mom at the time.
Yeah.
She's like, when's the last time you showered? I was like, probably yesterday. She's like, I doubt it. And I'm like,
my teeth were coming in weird. I had like one of the,
yeah.
Everything. It was.
We
just
had hairy legs.
Hairy legs. We hadn't started shaving yet.
Yeah.
We weren't wearing bras yet, even though we needed to.
Poorly managing our periods. Poorly.
And these girls now are just beautiful. And to be honest, it makes me sad because you know what? If you haven't gone through stuff, you're going to be pretty boring. I don't know how they're going to be funny.
Let me tell you something. I say this all the time. My sister was always beautiful, and that came with a lot of challenges because it defined her to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I was a chunky monkey all the way through. Once I hit a certain age, I was chunky, awkward, curly hair that I had no idea what to do with, glasses that were always like naughty. I mean, they weren't even good, cute. You got Beckett and some stylish stuff.
Well, they didn't have options like that.
No, it was like one pair. Yeah. It was like one pair
this
around.
Is what you get.
Yeah. And with my personality, my natural temperament that I have, and I've talked about this in the It's Not That Serious podcast many times before. With the temperament that I have, I am ambitious. I am confident. The way I don't know how to say this because it makes me sound so bad. I love people. I love people who are really close to me, but I don't have a natural tendency to love and care for people outside of my tight circle. And that was something that came with age, and it came with my relationship with God. And the more I grew spiritually, the more I had an outpouring and compassion and desire to love other people, meet them, and be interested in them. You know, before I was not really interested. I was like, if you were in my circle, I didn't even know you existed. It was just, and it wasn't me being mean. It was just kind of the way.
I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, it was just kind of the way that I was. And so if I was a hot piece in high school,
you would have been terrible.
Amber,
You would have been the worst.
terrible.
You would have been the worst. Mean girl.
I would have been mean. I would have excluded people probably. I would have felt like I was better than everybody else. You know what I mean? Just like, what's wrong with you? You can't do this? It's so funny. That struggle, that being the chunky girl, being the funny friend while all of your girlfriends were beautiful and had all the boyfriends and you didn't. That had to happen to me for me to, one, craft my sense of humor. I think I was always naturally funny, but not being able to rely on my looks forced me to work on the craft of being funny. I remember that being a thing where I was class clown. I worked for it. I worked for it to be funny, you know?
Yeah.
And it allowed me to work on the craft of my writing. I spent more time writing and doing poetry and being creative because I didn't have, little boys ringing me up all the time.
Yeah.
And so I had to have that in order for me to be a well-balanced, good, loving person. I would be the worst. Could you imagine if I was a hot piece my whole life? I'd be the worst. Rich. When you're hot, rich, that's the most horrible combo. We see this with like celebrities all the time where they grow up sickeningly wealthy. They're gorgeous their whole life. And their personalities are awful. Because they have that
There's no struggle.
There's no struggle. There's no humility.
I'm sure that there are plenty of other different struggles that come along with it.
Yes.
But I get mad. I'm jealous. Like these kids who are supposed to be awkward, weird looking, they're all in and they're just gorgeous.
It is true. They aren't experiencing, they're not going to look back at their photos and cringe like we did.
But I don't know what that changes.
What's the difference? I think it's more variety in clothing, more variety in style, more variety. They have more options. I mean, when we were kids, what did we have for options to even wear? What, JCPenney?
Oversized hypercolor T-shirt.
Okay. Oh yeah, I had some of those.
I got one of those. I got lucky. We did a lot of our shopping, like Goodwill or whatever, which was fine. Which is funny because I love Goodwill now. Like, now like we don't need to, but I'm like, I could go there.
Stuff there.
I could go there every day. I just love it. But I remember I got this like a hypercolor shirt, and can we bring those back? I don't need.
No, they were awesome.
Oh my gosh, they were the best.
And then we would style ourselves with slap bracelets, and then we found out that there was lead in them, and then we were all poisoning ourselves. But anyway, slap bracelets have come back. No, back in the day when we were wearing them, they had lead in them.
I had no idea.
Cutting kids and lead in them. They were dangerous.
Dang. They have come back. Some of these things are coming back.
I will say, like, when I see the crop top, ugly green ribbed shirts, I'm like, they look bad on us then. They look bad on you now. Everybody stop it. That look, that oversized overalls with like the tight ribbed crop top.
I'm going to have to agree to disagree here, my friends.
You better shut your face.
I loved it then, and I love it. And I wish I've tried overalls. My body style, am I the apple? Is that where it's like big in the middle? And it makes me look like a real sweaty farmer.
You put on some overalls as an outfit choice for our event in Dyersville, and that
that was for the ride home. And you know what? I wore those
That
since.
was really cute. It did look like it was going up your butt a little bit. Was it going up your butt?
No, it didn't feel like
That's
it.
why I don't do one
Probably
pieces.
Just the way. Those were just some casual. That was just a cute short option.
I agree. Yeah. Well, yeah. So we, anyway, these gorgeous kids. So what's our topic now? We're on good-looking kids.
Yeah, they're good-looking. We went in. We don't realize how old we are. You feel like the baby.
Yeah, I'm a puppy, and the first time that I noticed that things were going real downhill was I was driving in the car and I was kind of thinking, one of those random thoughts. And I start to feel my lower chin. And there's something there, something that's attached that's not coming off. And I'm scraping at it and scraping at it, scraping at it. And then I flip up the mirror in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the longest, thickest, most atrocious man hair.
Yeah.
It was long and it had curled, meaning that thing had been there for who knows how long. And I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I run home. I pluck it. Okay. And then I Google it. I'm like, what is this? Is this the beginning of a beard? It actually is the beginning of decay for women.
Well, yeah.
It's the, like I don't know why our body is starting to decay, and it's like, let's just pop some hairs on her chin. I don't know for what biological purpose that serves, but
Why? Is our estrogen just getting?
We should grab a phone real quick and look it up.
Yeah, I'm recording. You got to get yours.
Go get it. Where is mine? This is why we're unprepared. Joe Rogan would have had this lit up already.
His computer.
We need a producer. We need a producer to Google it. So I had I had to click it. So that was the first time I was like, okay, bad things are happening. Then I noticed, and I know you've had some experiences lately as well. Then I noticed that my forehead, like my skin wasn't bouncing back. Like I noticed that like I must like raise my eyebrows all the time and like look around surprised. I know I'm a really expression person, but like this must be my favorite look because my forehead is like a pack of hot dogs. Okay. Right? A pack of hot dogs. And another thing that scared me was I was watching like Sleepless in Seattle or one of those rom-coms and I decided to find out how old they were. Okay, so this is when I went down the whole, like, the terrible spiral down, because then I looked in to see how old Meg Ryan was. She was, like, my age at that time, 37. And then Tom Hanks was 40. Now, here's why that's devastating. If you watch Sleepless in Seattle, he's very handsome. Looks young, very handsome. His neck... Okay, looks like a pack, like somebody stacked 3 hoagies together. Okay,
oh my
just
gosh.
stacked 3 hoagies, and that was his neck.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, like I'm the age when necks go bad. Like necks are good. My neck is starting to go bad. There is a cord right here, and like if you look, I have a cord.
I think everybody does.
Oh no, not until your late 30s, early 40s. That cord is the decline of my chin. It's the beginning. It's the beginning. Soon I'm going to have one of those chicken cluckles. Okay? Little pooch.
How do you stop that?
You can't. I think you can get a facelift. You can't do anything about your neck. I remember Maria Shriver was complaining about her neck once, and she's like, there's nothing you can do. That's the one thing. Doesn't matter how much money you have. There's not much you can do about a neck. So if your neck looks like melted ice cream, you're in big trouble.
Are there exercise?
Yes, I have heard that there are exercises, and I looked them up, and I don't have the patience. I'm like, I think I'd rather have a saggy little pack of marbles under my chin than go through those exercises. So
looks like a men's like.
Yeah, a couple ballies.
A couple balls is hanging down
Yeah.
your neck. That's what we have to look forward to. No.
What are they called? Like Colorado Rocky oysters or something? That's what you got on your chin. That's what I got.
Mountain oysters.
Yeah, mountain oysters. Is that what they're called? That's what we have on my chin now. That's great.
Just hanging.
Yeah. Atrocious. So all of these things are happening, and it's not that I don't feel beautiful or feel good about myself, but it is alarming. It's the first time you're like, oh my gosh. Things are going downhill. You saw that you had like 5 gray hairs.
I started, I think it was like maybe 2 summers ago, and I noticed it was white, and I was like, oh, dang. So I plucked it, moved on about my business.
Yeah, my stylist says, by the way, you guys, my stylist says, do not pluck it. Because what happens is, And people thought that if you pluck it, like 2 will come back in its place.
No.
She goes, that's not
No.
true. What'll happen though is that as it's regrowing,
No,
it'll
that's-
stick right up.
no,
And
that's
now,
what
now
happens.
it's even more noticeable.
That is legit what happened to me. So I
Yeah.
was plucking one, and then I found a couple more, and I was plucking, and then I was like, oh my gosh, they're like all over. So I'm pluck, 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 pluck. Things are great because I don't get my hair done. I don't get it colored. I don't do any of that stuff. And I don't have time. I'm not about to try to do it now. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
It's work. And then all of a sudden, as they're growing back, they're just sticking, and then it is so much more noticeable.
Yeah.
It never really made me feel any certain way though about the gray hair, but the chin hair, that's an issue.
Well, and this is what really got everybody laughing at the event yesterday was because on Friday, Amber had texted me. She's like, tell everybody what happened.
So we had some new neighbors moving across the street, and so I was sitting on the couch with Winnie, and we've got squirrels that come and eat our bird seed, and we're just looking out the window, and she looks over and she's like, why do you have hair on your chin?
They always say that.
And I'm like,
Why do you have a black tooth? Why
Yeah.
Why do you have all of these thick wrinkles on your face?
What's that purple mark on your leg, Mom?
Yeah.
What are those weird little, did you draw with a pin on your leg?
Lucy,
No.
Lucy, when she was a toddler, why'd you put that tampon up your butt?
Yeah.
No, she didn't say tampon. Why'd you put that cotton thingy up your butt?
Yeah.
I didn't put it up my butt. Saw you put it up your butt. Number 1, that's one problem I have. Why you in here? Number 2, I didn't put it up my butt.
No.
Well, you put it. No,
It's
Mommy,
like
you put it up
kids.
your butt.
It's like kids, mind your business.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you.
Yeah. Now I have to explain to her anatomy. Okay, which I don't want to do to a 3-year-old.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, now remember, there's 3 holes. You have to have that 3-hole conversation.
Oh, I am not. Well, somebody's going to. It's not me. I didn't grow up having these conversations, and even when Mackenzie was like, I was like, we're just gonna avoid it, which I know is the worst thing to do. But anyway, we were looking out the window, and I was like, oh, and I knew, like, I've always had one, and not always, maybe since Hudson was like 3 or something. So 7 years ago, I had one little one that would come, and I would always be on top of, like, I'd just pluck it. And this time when he told me and I felt, and I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, and I would go in the bathroom and I have 2, and they are incredibly long.
We're going to put it on the YouTube video. We're going to cut it in.
I sent her a picture. I didn't know she was good at, I don't care.
Okay, so
if
I
she
was on
shared it.
I had my speech kind of on my iPad that I was like my notes that I was going through. So then I was like, why don't I just show you guys? Okay. I pulled up Amber's picture of her hairs and then I zoomed in on my iPad. Everyone was screaming.
They were laughing so hard. One woman was like, how long were they growing for? Like, how did you not? And I was like, you know what? I don't know. It's like, might as well, I just had these two little, like, just blowing in the wind a little bit.
Oh
hard.
my God. There is no doubt in my mind that when you caught a wind gust, those things were like,
it was like grass. And
yeah, wavy wheat grass.
Yeah.
Just flapping.
moving. And they're the worst hairs, too, because they're thick. It's like 2 pubes just growing out of your chin.
Yeah, it's a man hair.
And one woman even said, and I was like, I wonder if I don't know if that's true because I haven't had it long enough, but she said, chin hairs don't really turn white. They're always black.
Yeah, dark black. I'm going to just keep telling everybody the story. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my phone.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was, so I go upstairs, I pluck them, take some pictures, send them to Anna. It was hilarious. It was just funny. She showed everybody. I mean,
So everybody can relate to it. Okay. So
that's part of aging.
it is a part of aging. So why
Will our armpit
why
hair turn
do
white?
women, no, maybe. Why do women,
Get chin hairs.
by the way, that one Rachel, what's her name? She's in Mean Girls. She was the mean girl. She's real cute. What's her name?
Yeah, the blonde. I
She
don't know.
just had a Vogue shoot where she had hairy armpits.
What?
That's the one thing Rob was like, I love you. He goes, I don't care if you gain weight, whatever happens to your body. He goes, you're beautiful. You could go great. I love you. You're my wife. Don't ever have hairy armpits. He's like, that is the one. He goes, that is the one thing that I cannot get past. Like, and so the one time I had my arms up and it was like, when it comes to my armpits, I don't really know it's time to shave until it's time to shave.
Yeah.
Like a lot of women will do it every day in the shower, but I don't shower every day because of my hair. I bathe. And so I don't always shave. Sometimes it's like real quick, real fast, or whatever. Or I jump into the shower to rinse off after I work out with like a head thing on.
Yeah.
But for those women who have that like daily shower routine, they probably shave every day. Not me. You know, mine is just when I notice it. I shave my legs when I notice it. I shave my armpits when I notice it. I was probably one day past that. And I was kind of just relaxing with the tank top on. I had my arm up and I was talking to Rob and he kept like talking to me, but like side-eyeing my armpits.
Yeah, like when eyes wander when you're talking to them. I do that a lot by mistake with people's hair. I don't like to have deep eye contact for too long. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So my eyes always go up. And so people will always just be like, what? Is there something wrong? Like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's me. I can't gaze into your eyes that long.
Yeah. So I know like that's the one thing that he's like, please, I beg you, okay. Why do women sprout chin hairs as they age? New York Times. Hopefully this isn't behind a paywall. And it is. Okay, I'm going to pick another one. Why do women sprout chin hairs as they age? The Indian Express. Let's see
what they say.
There's no paywall here. As women get closer to menopause, he said, the balance of hormones in their bodies shifts and they can start producing more male-type hormones known as androgens. Oh, my God.
Why?
That was it. Indian Express really is express.
Yeah, that's quick. That's quick.
Why do women get chin hair? Hormone changes. Okay, Cleveland Clinic, help us out. Oh, look at this poor lady. We can't see that. Oh, I feel sorry for her. Is she shaving? Don't take a razor to it, ladies. That's all I have to say. Then you're really going to have a man chin. It's a common experience discovering a hair or several where you aren't expecting it. Sometimes the discovery is a cause for celebration or laughter. Other times you may find yourself greeting the new hair with dismay, straight up confusion, or a pair of tweezers. I have one on my inner thigh. I'm like, is this a straight pube? What is this?
What is it?
I think it's a straight pube.
All the way down in your thigh?
Yeah. Where is it? It's right here. Look at how far up it is. Look at it. Right
that is not a straight.
Is that a straight pube?
That might be a straight pube. God, body hair is the worst.
I'm telling you, I'm falling apart. But I still have my looks. That's why your 40s women are so happy because it's like we finally don't care about stuff. You know what I mean? We are confident. We're more confident. We have experiences under our belt. We're more secure in our body and our sexuality. And then all of a sudden, but we're falling apart inside.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about like gray hair is that it literally is like your body is like, you know what? I just don't think that we need to make pigment anymore. Your cells are just like, why bother? This is like the beginning of the end.
The downward slope.
Like, why do you want me to get up early and make pigment for you? Honestly, like, what's the point? Nobody's checking you out. What are you worried about? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
And then I found one in my eyebrow hair. And usually my mom is really encouraging to me and like, well, honey, this happens in your late 30s, early 40s. She's like, if you're anything like me, I'm just telling you, I'm not full gray. My mom's hair is black, and I think she uses a shampoo that kind of fills in her black. But she's like, I'm mostly black. I do not go full gray. I have not gone full gray. So it'll be slow and just, keep coloring your hair. It's fine. And I go, well, I found a gray hair in my eyebrow. And she goes, ooh, that's bad. I was like, oh, good. Oh, good. I'm so glad.
So then the other thing I think about is like, I have to dye my hair now. I thought about just not, because a lot of women are and they're looking great. But then my friend's mom, I love her. She's so wonderful. I don't know how old she is. She's older because Ansley was a young, they had her when they were older. And I was like, I guess I'm just going to let it go. She goes, no. It's going to age you. No, don't. You have to get it. So then I'm like, well, how long do I wait? I just don't. It's just extra stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, so then the question is, how much of aging do we resist and how much of it do we embrace?
I think we just embrace
And then the
it.
idea
That's
of
part
just
life.
embracing. I'm not going full gray though for you to you could rah me all you want. Like, just embrace it. This is life. We're getting older. I ain't going gray right now. I'll color that till the
No.
cows come home.
Well, but you're not gray right now.
Well, I've got my eyebrows. I have like 4 prominent strands up front that get colored when I get my hair done. I'm not worried about the gray hair right now. I will say that when I see them, it always shocks me. Like, I just can't believe what I'm looking at. I still feel like a baby.
Yeah, I feel young.
And I have young children, which is not uncommon in your 40s to have young children these days. But when you still have young children, too, you still feel young. Like, I have a good friend, Kathy, I met at the gym. Okay, she's a grandma. We've totally bonded. It's weird and fun. And she brought me over these, she loves that I'm Sicilian, and she loves all of these old school Sicilian haunts, So she's like, I'm going to bring you some sausage and peppers. So she brought me over some sausage and peppers. And she saw my girls, and she was like, I don't know why, but I cannot believe how young they are. Like, I don't think she thought I was old, but it just surprised her that I have such young children. And so that keeps me young when you've got Poppy in kindergarten, and
well, that's why they say that you want to make sure that you continue to bring your kids around their grandparents, not necessarily for the kids' sake, which it's everybody benefits, but it helps keep the older people young.
Yeah.
It helps keep them younger.
Yeah. Right. And so it really does. It makes me feel like I'm just a baby. And sometimes I think, my period this last time, speaking of my period, was like 4 days late. Do you remember this? And I just was like, there's no way I'm pregnant. I can't be pregnant because Rob got a vasectomy. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was telling Rob, I was like, yeah, but I heard that vasectomies don't work, or sometimes they don't work. And he goes, that's in the beginning. You're not supposed to have sex for like 3 months. And he goes, people just don't wait that long. And that's when those happen. It doesn't happen 5 years after the fact, And I was like, I don't know. What if I am? And so then I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, I've got Amber in my life now. The baby can be with her a lot.
Well, I think about that.
I
too.
want a fresh baby. I want a fresh baby so bad, but not really. But I love fresh babies. And when I see a woman with a baby and like a little papoose, I'm like, oh, I miss that. But, Rob says that I just want baby ambiance. He's like, you don't want a baby. You want baby ambiance. I always want a baby around the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I want that fresh baby around the holidays, that cute little headband if it's a girl. And I was thinking about it. And so then the more my period was not coming, because my period, literally, my watch nails it every single time. This was the first time, and I can't even remember when a period tracker did not nail when my period was coming. And I was even out of like the zone. So it has like a big long period of when it might come, when it predicts it'll come, and then it kind of fades out towards the end. I was past those days. And so I was like, I've seen this movie. What Father of the Bride 2, right? By the way, how old is she in that movie? Don't Google it. Oh, should I Google how old What's Her Face was in Mother of the Bride 2? What's her name? Mother of the Bride. What's her name? The mom.
I don't know names of people. I'm terrible.
You know
with
who I'm
it.
talking about, though.
Yeah, I can see her.
I said Mother of the Bride 2. I mean Father of the Bride. Diane Keaton. How old was, if you guys remember that movie, Diane, their daughter, the father of the bride, the daughter gets pregnant and has a baby, and then Diane Keaton's character also gets pregnant at the same time. How old is Diane Keaton in Father of the Bride 2? She's gray in that movie too, and looks older, like she's 50. Father of the Bride 2. Okay, she was nearly 50. That makes me feel a lot better. If she was my age, I'd be like,
yeah. No, she was older.
Older. Yeah. So anyway, I had missed it, and I told Rob. So then, like, I started to have like this level of acceptance, and I was like, Rob wouldn't let me name Poppy Mabel. I wanted to name Poppy Mabel. Lucy and Mabel Thomas, okay? And he vetoed it. And then I was like, first of all, I regret even allowing this veto system. He threw out Victoria. Listen, that's a beautiful name, but I'm not. I was like, what are we, high class, highbrow? I was like, this does not fit our family. We have a Lucy and Victoria. I was like, that ain't even the right theme.
You gonna call her Vicky, Vic,
Tori, maybe, I guess.
Tori. Oh, Tori, that would have been cute.
It's cute. It's not me.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I vetoed Victoria, and so I was like, I've got it. This is it. Nothing is better than this. Mabel. He was like, veto. I was like, no, absolutely not. I mean, I panicked. Then I told him, you don't get a say. I was like, I know that I was kind of playing along. You get an opinion, but you don't get an opinion. It's going to be Mabel. And he would not allow it. And so that's when Poppy came. Now, it was meant to be. Poppy she's a strawberry blonde. She's a true strawberry blonde. If there was anybody who looks like her name should be Poppy, it's Poppy, right? So Poppy worked out. I was like, now I can finally get my Mabel. And so Rob, I go, well, if I am, I'm going to finally get my Mabel. He's like, if you are, and it's a girl, you can name her Mabel. And he goes, because I will not be here anymore. I will be gone. So you can literally do whatever you want.
He's like, I'm sorry, but it's too much.
We're too old. We're ready for the next chapter. We're not ready to like go down to square one with that baby. But a lot of women have them. My sister had her son at 40. A lot of women nowadays, it's not uncommon. And in fact, there's a wealthy area that is near us, very wealthy, and they have a beautiful park. So I like to go there because they have the nice park. And all of those women literally look like they could be the kid's grandma. They all had I'm like, all the rich ladies are having them old. It's fine.
Well, I think more so now people kind of wait because they kind of want to live their life. Like they want to do
career,
stuff, experience things,
travel. So it's a lot more normal. Right. But boy, ooh, I tell you what.
I think I would have another one. We can't, we're done. But I think about that, especially when I go back and I look at like Winsley, my 4-year-old. She loves looking at pictures on my phone and like way back, getting an Amazon and photos. And she, and then I'll just see him and I think, oh my God, if I could just hold that baby one more time. I just miss that.
Poppy was such a
And then she screams at me because she doesn't like juice. And I'm like, you know what?
Done. Poppy was such a happy, belly laughy baby. So I just remember a lot of joy. I remember nursing, like those types of but then you forget the sleepless nights. You forget the exhaustion. You forget how much in those early years they occupy your entire life. They dictate where you're going, when you're going. Are you going to go out to eat? It's going to suck. I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
I can't go to the zoo. It's too hot. They
I'm
dictate
not getting
everything.
on a plane because of children. and I still am not.
Right.
I want to wait.
So we think...
we forget about the bad stuff.
We talked about this and we talked about our health. And by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, both Amber and I are my workouts have stayed the same, but my eating has gotten real loose. Okay. And so we're going to start tightening some screws. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, we're even going to be looking a little bit healthier, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Tighten things up here. Working on my fitness helps me feel better about my aging. I do feel, honestly, the most beautiful I've ever been. I really do. Like, I told Rob, I was like, God, you're lucky. I've gotten weight. You thought I was hot then?
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at, like, our early photos, and I was like, what were you thinking? But, joking with him. But, but he's gotten better, too. I was like, the more he ages, this is the same. That's always this deal with men.
Scott I love him so much. It's so funny, but I look at me now, and again, I feel fine. I'm whatever, but I will be like, this is not what you signed up for. I'm sorry, but this is what you're stuck with.
He seems pretty into you, girl. So
I mean, but it's just so funny thinking like, well, this is what you married.
I've gotten better. I've gotten better, and I do my makeup better. I don't even think I barely did my makeup. I do things better now than I ever did back then. And
I'm sure
I
you're
feel
older.
better.
You learn.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, I don't know. I do feel good. And we joke about the wrinkles. I will say collagen does make a difference. Collagen, if anybody is worried, it doesn't like how the wrinkle things is happening. Collagen legit visually works if you take it daily. You'll notice a difference. And I was taking it just because I needed protein, and it was all that I had at the time. And I was like, gosh, my skin looks fantastic. What am I eating? And I forgot that I was taking collagen. It really does work.
Really?
So if anybody wants to just kind of just get a little, little something, something, collagen is one of the only things that I think actually works. But yeah, I do. It's just one of those things that's happening. It happens to all of us. And doing it gracefully, I think, is more beautiful and wonderful than trying really, really hard to deny it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people just like really just hand their lives over to it. They're like, well, this is the end. They don't even try.
I feel like that's gonna be me. Like,
why you try?
well, I don't be but I mean, like with the hair dye, like all the other things that come along with that aging process. I think I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm gray.
Yeah,
I might change my mind the more as it comes in.
You do have a great motto where you're like, at some point, you're going to have to accept the consequences of your choices.
Yeah, and that's totally true. We were looking at our videos and setting up where we were sitting, and Anna's like, I think you look fine. She's like, I don't know if you're gonna like it. And I looked at it and I didn't. I was like, you know what though? This is it. This is what I've done, and I now have to deal with it. And so hopefully we're gonna deal with it. I'm doing that. Did I tell you the beach? Well, I don't think it's beach body anymore. It's like body, and then the portion control things. And so,
this is the thing I've always thought about you, though. I've always thought you're naturally beautiful. You don't wear a stitch of makeup, and it's like, wow. I guess that's the way you want to live your life.
That's
Okay,
sweet,
it's your
sweet.
it's your Saudi Arabianness with your black eyelashes. So you're beautiful. And I've always loved your bod. You're always like active, fit, just
well, that's
spunky.
the thing is like I'm like when I when we watch like 1,000-Pound Sisters,
We
it's
both
like,
felt really good about ourselves. We're like, you know what? Let's order
I don't
in
have a
because
problem. I'm gonna get some Chinese with 2 egg rolls. I am so active, and I do yard work. I'm not active as much as like I don't go to the gym. I don't work out, but I do things. I'm busy, and I'll haul rock or sand, like landscaping, and so that's why I don't feel
well, because this is the thing, and this is what occurred to me, and this is what I've told everybody when I've made that shift. I think everybody wants to look good, and feel good about themselves.
yeah, for sure.
I think when people act like and being fit and healthy feels good.
Yeah.
It just feels good. It's not even a vanity thing. It feels good. And I think all of us want that. We want to be healthy. We want to live long lives.
Yeah.
Carrying extra weight. I mean, I remember when I was heavier, just even my boobs were in my way all the time. And they were under my arms almost, and I kind of had my arms out all the time because they were just out under my arms.
Like laid down, and it's like
You're just more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You don't sleep as good. And so you put the vanity piece out of it, and it's just about
health.
It's
and
about
overall
health.
well-being.
And I think in your 40s is the decade where it is your last chance to turn it around, and you can turn it around 180. I mean, you can turn it around and avoid a lot of the health pitfalls. By the time you get to 50, that's your last chance. You do this now, or we're going to start having some clinical issues with you, or you're like, you know what I mean? And so that's when you really got to take that stuff seriously. I mean, you just can't have 100, 200 extra pounds on your body and be 98 years old, right? And so it's just a matter of, in me being an older mom, it was just like, I need my mom so bad. And I call her 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And so she had me at 30. And she's 70 now, and she's healthy, and I think she's going to live past 100. I hope so. She has some issues, though, and some health issues that she's working through. And I just think about my own kids. I think we might have even talked about this in the podcast, but I'm 36 and, you know, I had Lucy at 34, Poppy at 36. So when they're my age and they need me as badly as I need them, I'm going to be so much older.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think the key is. And so I want to age gracefully. I want to be a really good example to my girls about loving yourself and loving your body through proper health and fitness, but also accepting and loving everything about yourself, the flaws, the uniqueness of yourself, the I don't have to be super thin, you know, and just being I think about that too, about even when I'm dieting, I want to be very careful what I'm or watching how much I eat, making sure that the girls don't see anything funky going on.
Yeah.
And it's funny because before my girls, I would do anything extreme diet, HCG, I would try anything.
Yeah.
I won't do that stuff now because they'll see it.
Yeah.
I'll remember I've had a certain women be like, oh, my whole life, my mom never ate dinner with us. She just wouldn't eat. You know, stuff like that sticks with your kids, and it can cause stuff with them too. And so it's that balance of wanting them to not even think twice about beauty and just being the full, most healthy expression of themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's a good plan. So who knows? We'll see. Maybe each week it'll just get thinner and thinner, and or not. And I'm still living it's still good.
She's still living her best life, and we don't want to hear about it.
Yeah,
we might even, who knows? We can change our mind whenever we want to.
Whenever we want to.
I was going to read a little piece about vaginal dryness.
We might have to get to that. We might get that next time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
but
that's going to happen to us when we're 50.
Well,
it's kind of happening to you now.
Part of me thinks it's happening. I thought I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting? When I never had yeast infections ever, and then when I was pregnant with Beckett, I got them like at one after another. And I remember even like we were on vacation and like we got into the ocean a little bit, and then I had to I thought something happened to me in the water, and I was like, what is going on? And I called my doctor. They're like, oh, that it can happen. I hate it. There's a cream you got to put.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Humiliating,
itchy.
Can't sit down good.
Can't sit down. I'm just constantly like,
is moving, shaking.
Oh my gosh.
Squirrely.
And so, and that was the only time I ever experienced them. And then like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something, I was like, I think I'm getting a yeast infection again. Like, this is bizarre. And no, it wasn't. It was just
vaginal dryness. Well, this is
it's just awful.
Well, in Catherine O'Hara, and I read this piece, which I don't have the book near me, so we kind of blew that part, but my sister brought up, because she was turning 50, about, certain things that are happening in menopause, and she went into this Facebook group and just was destroyed by it. She's like, oh my gosh, this is what is happening to me. And the biggest one was vaginal dryness, and that was the first time I heard. I was like, what do you mean vaginal dryness?
I didn't even know anything about it.
It's like friction, like kindling in your pants. Like, what does that mean, vaginal dryness, And she's like, oh yeah. Vaginal dryness.
Dry, itchy, painful sex.
Dry, itchy, painful sex. Yeah. Commercial. It's probably a commercial.
It's commercial.
Yeah. Oh. So that's what we have to look forward to. And you know what? We're gonna have our heads held high with dignity.
Yeah.
As we march. You're marching towards it now.
I'm marching
slowly,
towards it now,
itchy, slowly uncomfortable.
Gosh, it is. It's just awful.
Yeah, it is.
It's not good.
I'm so sorry that that's happened to you.
Yeah. Not often. I think it must be around my cycle, like my hormones or something, because it's always like...
Just dries right up like a prune.
It's always like right around when I'm getting close to starting my period, like the week before. Yeah. And then Scott's like, well... There's another week we're not going to be doing it, so I'm sorry.
You're like, you go in there, you ain't coming out.
Oh my gosh. So anyway,
Amber, success. Another podcast down the chute, sister. We did it.
we did it.
God bless
This
us.
is number
Three.
We're on number 3.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So, listen, guys, this is Anna and Amber. I just want to let you guys know, if you've heard that we do events, we do events. I speak at secular and Christian groups. If you have a woman's group and you'd like me to be the entertainment, I do a lot of laughter and encouragement. I have been in huge events for like women's nights, nonprofits. If you would like us to come to your event, we'd love to be there. Okay, it is always a rocking good time. Go to annalindthomas.com/event. If you just go into I couldn't put an S on it. I don't want to talk about it. Talk to my tech guy. Like, why can't I put an S on it? It's annoying. Leave it alone. Okay, just go to my website, click on it, reach out to me. And we'll see if we can get you on the calendar. I would love it so much. If you'd like an update on all of my essays and what's the latest going on with my next book, follow me on my Substack, annalindthomas.com. Whoops, that's not it. annalindthomas.substack.com. And go ahead and follow us there. We are on Spotify. I just applied to be on iTunes. We're probably on iTunes. Listen to us wherever you would like. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are finding out that everybody's preferring to actually watch us for the whole hour.
which I was kind of surprised because
Don't you want to be in the car or whatever?
But like for me personally though, YouTube I can just pop it on. I don't have to watch it, but it's an option. So you're still listening to it, but yeah, I was really surprised that people preferred to so far watch.
Yeah. So if you go to annalindthomas.com, you'll actually see, click on where you can listen on the podcast, and then you can find our YouTube channel. I think it's my old Ha-Ha's for Hoo-Ha's I think it's like Ha-Ha's for Hoo-Ha, youtube.com/Ha-Ha's for Hoo-Ha's. Yeah. And I can't change it until we get like 1,000 followers. So if you guys want to go ahead and follow it.
Follow us, please.
Follow us, please, so I can change my tag. That thing has been old and crusty for years.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I would say that other than Beckett just walking in, confident, like he wasn't interrupting us
like
whatsoever,
not at all.
the kids have behaved. We haven't heard hardly a little murmur.
No, they did their best.
Probably watching the depths of YouTube that we are. We'll talk about that next time. Social media. That's what we're going to talk about. Social media and our kids and how to parent in this age.
Parenting, and that's going to be one you guys are going to want to listen to because I have a lot of opinions. They might be wrong, unpopular.
And they might be wrong. Tune in.
Tune in to hear
non-experts. Non-experts try to go through this horrific terrain.
We have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about it.
And we're doing our best.
Doing our best.
Until next time.
Bye.
We're stopping. We're doing like right around an hour 10. Good. So
Pick my wedgie again, per usual.
oh yeah, we gotta
Go outside.
stop that video.